Hey, Franny here with the Urban Code KC. So let's chat about something that's buzzing around lately. The NAR lawsuit settlement. It goes in effect this week. For us in Kansas and Missouri, it took effect today on the 14th. 17th is the last day anybody can have it go in effect. And it's really going into effect. It's happening mostly within an MLS. And so I know it sounds like a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, but stick with me because it might change the way you buy your next home. So now, if you're out there house hunting for the perfect home and you hear that the seller won't pay your buyer's agent commission, don't freak out. I got some tricks up my sleeve. And I'm going to help you navigate this new landscape as I'm navigating this new landscape. So it's going to be okay. I think that we're going to come out better in the end for this. I feel like the agents and the team at Urban Cool KC are well prepared for this. And some of the options I'm going to give you, some of you already know about it because you've been following us. And with our house hacks and our affordable housing options, I think it's just going to fit very well into our already ecosystem that we do to help buyers to buy houses with down payment assistance programs as one of the things. So what's the deal? So basically, the lawsuit is requiring that the sellers no longer are having to just sort of be forced to pay for the buyer's agent commission. That's been the standard. And it's been put into the MLS what the percent of commission was being offered to a buyer's agent. There's a whole history behind why that came into existence. It was truly to help buyers to have representation, and we may swing back to where we don't have good buyers representation, which could turn out to not be such a great thing. We'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll get somewhere in the middle. So no longer can we have the option of putting that into MLS, and we cannot put that into our listing agreements. All we can do with our sellers is ask if they are willing to offer compensation to a buyer's agent as a negotiation item in the purchase offer. And that can be something that can be offered by the buyer, and the seller can agree on paying for the buyer's agent commission. It could still be 3%. It can be a different percent. It could be a flat rate. It can be many things, but it will be an additional line on the purchase agreement. It will not just be an automatic percent in the closing settlement sheet. That's where it's going to be different. Now, the seller can not offer it. And the challenge is going to be, for a while till we figure out how this all comes down, is when you're looking online at a house, whether it's Zillow or us agent on MLS, we won't know if the seller is willing to offer that commission for a buyer's agent. So how are buyer's agents going to get paid? It's going to be tricky. So we, as buyer's agents, can call the listing agent or text them and ask them, is the seller willing to pay for a buyer's agent commission? And by their agreement with their seller, they can let us know if they are. They can even let us know how much they're willing to pay, or they can just say they're willing to negotiate. So there are still some that will be willing to pay that. Listen, not every house is going to sell right off the market. We have many houses in the Kansas City metro that will not sell in the first weekend and have multiple offers, and there will still be a need for incentives for the seller and the listing agent to offer to get buyer agents to get their buyers into the house. Because if there is no incentive, if the buyer agent is not being paid, then they are more likely not to bring a buyer into that house. So that's going to shake out in some interesting ways. So there's going to be some challenges. So that's the biggest change. There are a few other changes. For instance, you no longer can go look at a house with a buyer's agent without a signed buyer's agent agreement. That's no longer possible. You can still go to an open house. A listing agent can show potential buyers' houses, their listing, but a buyer agent cannot show an agent houses without a buyer's agreement. So that's another big change. All right, so if you are freaking out and you're thinking, I am going to have to pay for a buyer's agent commission and maybe I don't have the cash, what am I going to do? Maybe I'll just try to wing this on our own. Please don't wing this on your own. Listen, this is one of the biggest financial decisions that most people make. There are others that they make, but this is one of the biggest ones. And so really, you should still get a trusted realtor to help you through the process. There are many steps along the way that you need some guidance, and there are options. It's not all over. There's still options. So option number one is we do believe that some of the sellers are still going to be willing to pay for the buyer's agent commission. Option two, we also believe that if they don't pay for the buyer's agent commission, that they actually may be open to paying for some closing costs, all the closing costs, which could actually equal out to the buyer's agent commission. Option three, there could be an ability with your mortgage lender to have the buyer's agent commission wrapped into your loan. Option four, you may have to pay it yourself, and that can be challenging, but it's a big investment and you want to make sure that you are being represented. So with option four comes option five, which is, I feel, Urban Cool KC, my best offer, my team of agents' best offer in this new environment, and that is helping you find the down payment assistance programs. We're very good at that. We are experts. We hold workshops on this all the time. So if you could get down payment assistance, like the MHDC, the Kansas DPA, there are other down payment assistance programs. Many of them are based on income, and there are certain levels of income, but like MHDC, you can make up to $130,000 and still qualify for it, and it would cover your down payment assistance. It is an FHA loan, so it'd be covering 3.5% of your loan, so it could increase your monthly payment. But FHA loans are actually the mortgage interest is lower. You still have to pay mortgage interest. So there's a lot of variables going into it, but what you would save on the down payment, you could then pay for your buyer's agent's commission. So those are some options. You can also just don't go look at houses that the seller isn't going to pay the buyer's agent commission. Look, the final option, as I already suggested, you can just go about this on your own and not have representation. I think it's going to be very challenging to do that. I know that you might be able to figure it out, but there's so many moving parts. I just hope that you wouldn't do that. Okay, so there's the update. Let me know if you have any questions on this. I think I gave you the top stuff. Call me. I'd love to chat with you, especially about how to get some creative financing and down payment assistance. Okay, we're gonna get through this. Okay.